Good afternoon. Fade to Black breaking news. Yeah, for this Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. This is all of the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. All right. What a great show last night with Daryl Sims. And tonight we're going to continue with Lon Strickler, Mothman, and Winged Humanoids. That's tonight on the show. Tomorrow night, Michael Brown is with us. Now, he's a very prolific author, researcher, blogger. And tomorrow, I've just entitled the show Our Paranormal World, because we are going to touch upon a wide range of subjects. And then Thursday night is our once a month AMAAJA Ask Jimmy Anything. I just spoke to about myself in the third person. Ask me anything. Thursday night on Fade to Black. We've got three major events coming up in the second half of 2024. Contact at Sea, the cruise to Alaska, September 6th through the 13th. The links are below. And it's sold out, but there is some space that is now available. Check on the link below. Egypt is coming up October 3rd through the 14th with Billy and Elizabeth Carson. Again, sold out, but there is a waiting list and you can check in on that. And then it's Peru and Bolivia. That is in November 15th through the 27th. And again, the links for tickets and information and everything else that you need are below. Let's get straight to it. Got a very, very busy news day today. On this day in history, 1982. Big day. Fast Times at Ridgemont High opens in theaters. Written by Cameron Crowe and directed by Amy Heckerling, the film follows a year in the life of high school students, starring, check this, A-list, man, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Phoebe Cates, Brian Backer, Robert Romanus, Sean Penn, Nicolas Cage, Forrest Whitaker, Judge Reinhold, Eric Stoltz, Ray Walston, and Anthony Edwards. The world indeed changed on this day in 1982. Here's your Fader fact. Check this. Pope Francis used to be a nightclub bouncer. And that is your Fader fact. Let's get to the breaking news. New research published in Antiquity provides direct evidence that seafarers traveled along the equator to reach islands off the coast of West Papua more than 50,000 years ago. That's right. Excavations at Malolo Cave, a colossal limestone chamber surrounded by tropical rainforest, uncovered several layers of human occupation associated with stone artifacts, animal bones, shells, and charcoal. Radiocarbon dating at the University of Oxford and the University of Waikato show that humans were living at Malolo by at least 55,000 years before present day. That's right. Seafaring people on boats over 50,000 years ago cruising around the Pacific Ocean. All of it. And that is huge breaking news. Check this out. SpaceX has lined up more business for its human spaceflight program with a private launch from Florida that will take its passengers on a polar orbit for the first time. The mission, called FRAM-2, that will launch from the Space Coast before the end of 2024, is headed up by Chun Wang of Malta. Wang has made a buttload of dosh from cryptocurrency and now wants to be an astronaut. Along for the crypto ride will be Eric Phillips of Australia, Jannik Milkinson of Norway, and Rabea Rouge of Germany. Mikkelsen will be mission commander, and Phillips the pilot. FRAM-2 crypto will last 3 to 5 days in space at an altitude of 279 miles. That is nuts. Now, in the craziest news of the day, more than 100 new plant species have invaded Antarctica. That's right. For instance, fast growing common lawn grass, the same stuff in your front yard, has rapidly spread across the sub-Antarctic islands from South Georgia to Livingston Island and is now making its way south to the Antarctic Peninsula. A group of scientists have just combined satellite data with field measurements to produce the first map of green vegetation across the whole Antarctic continent. The map is amazing. You need to check it out. And the green is growing. Times are a changing. An immense reservoir of liquid water may reside deep under the surface of Mars within fractured rocks, holding enough to fill an ocean that would cover the entire surface of Mars about 1 mile deep. That is the conclusion of scientists based on seismic data obtained by NASA's robotic InSight lander. The water, located about 7.2 to 12.4 miles below the Martian surface, potentially offers conditions favorable to sustain microbial life, either in the past or right now. The InSight lander touched down in 2018 to study the deep interior of Mars, gathering data from its liquid metal core to its mantle and crust. The InSight mission ended in 2022, but the data collection continues. And finally, I'll leave you with this. For 6 months, back in 1181 AD, a dying star left a mark in the night sky. The striking object appeared as bright as Saturn in the vicinity of the constellation Cassiopeia, and the historical chronicles from China and Japan recorded it as a guest star. Chinese astronomers use this term for a temporary object in the sky, often a comet, this time a supernova, an explosion of a star at the end of its life. The object, now known as SN 1181, supernova 1181, is one of a handful of supernovas documented before the invention of telescopes. Now, a new study has, for the first time, described SN 1181 in detail by creating a computerized model of the supernova's evolution from immediately after the initial outburst that appeared in 1181 until today. The research team compared the model with archival telescope observations of its nebula, the giant cloud of gas and dust visible to this day that is the leftovers of the crazy event. The researchers say that SN 1181 belongs to a rare class of supernovas called type IX, in which the thermonuclear flare-up is the result of not one, but two white dwarfs that have violently collided yet failed to detonate completely, leaving behind a zombie star. It took astronomers 840 years to solve SN 1181's riddle, pinpointing its location in the Milky Way. The dying star was the last pre-telescopic supernova without a confirmed remnant, until in 2021, Albert Zylstra, a professor of astrophysics at the University of Manchester in England, traced it back to a nebula in the constellation Cassiopeia. Now, amateur astronomer Dana Patrick discovered the nebula in 2013 when searching for archives of NASA's Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, otherwise known as WISE. Another strange thing about SN 1181, the zombie star, check this, it contains no hydrogen or helium. Now, about 90% of the universe consists of hydrogen, and the rest is almost exclusively helium, like our sun, which is primarily hydrogen and helium. I talk about that all the time. So clearly, something extreme happened to SN 1181 back in, 1181 AD, and it must have been really cool to see in the night sky. Seriously. There you go. There's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Fade to Black breaking news is produced by Renee Neumann. I'm Jimmy Church. I want to remind everybody tonight on the show, Lon Strickler is here. We're going to be talking about Mothman and winged humanoids. But for now, all I've got is Go Backley Tappy.